Today, Las Vegas Sands has grown to have 8 properties worldwide. We have 2 resort casinos in Las Vegas as well as a convention center, 1 casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 3 resorts in Macau, and 1 resort in Singapore. Behind me is our financial situation for the past 4 years. We included 2007 due to the economic decline in 2008 and 2009.
To begin with the SWOT analysis is Las Vegas Sands' strengths. The first strength that the company has is their ample amount of cash. Las Vegas Sands has over $3 billion in cash, where their main competitor, Wynn, has only $1 billion. Next in the SWOT analysis are Las Vegas Sands' weaknesses. Their main weakness is their high level of long-term debt. They have over $9 billion in long-term debt, and this not only increases their interest expense, but creates a less flexible environment for future financing.
Now we're going to take a look at some of the opportunities that we see in the market for Las Vegas Sands. The biggest opportunity we see is the aging population of the United States. The baby boomers are reaching the age of retirement, thereby increasing the size of one of our primary target markets, dubbed the elderly elites. These elderly elites are high-frequency visitors to casinos, visiting more than 15 a year. They represent 11% of the market and are crucial in gearing our operations towards this target market in order to obtain U.S. growth. Now we're going to look at the threats facing Las Vegas Sands. One of the biggest threats is the decentralization of the United States gaming industry. With more states liberalizing gaming laws, this will entice visitors to instead visit more regional destinations rather than taking the trip out to Las Vegas. This decentralization is a threat to Las Vegas Sands because the majority of our holdings are in the market of Las Vegas. Now we're going to look at some of the objectives that we've made based off of the internal and external analysis of our firm. The first objective we determined would be the diversification of U.S. holdings and the decrease of long-term debt. Now we're going to explain to you how we plan on doing this.
Our first strategy is acquiring the Beau Rivage from MGM. Currently, we have properties in 2 U.S. locations. With properties in the East and the West, we wanted to penetrate the southern market. This is why we decided it would be beneficial to diversify in Biloxi, Mississippi. This will overall expand our U.S. market. With acquiring a resort from an already established company, it allowed us to focus on the rebranding and renovation. This also allowed for us to avoid time constraints we would have faced if we had to build from the ground up. We plan on offering MGM $430 million based on their earnings before interest and taxes multiplied by 7.
Our first supporting strategy is the rebranding and renovations of the Beau Rivage. We have set aside a $15 million budget to be depreciated over 8 years. $7 million will be used on the renovation of rooms, while the remaining 8 will be used throughout the resort. We will redesign our hotel to channel a 1960s feeling, which channels the Rat Pack and the original Sands Hotel. We will rebrand our hotel by marketing to major surrounding cities, which include New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, and the Gulf Shores in Mississippi. We will have billboard advertisements on major highways, print ads in the popular newspapers in the metropolitan area, as well as online advertisements. Through the rebranding and renovation strategy, we will acquire a 6% growth rate for the Beau Rivage.
With this strategy, we wanted to develop an environment that was professional, but adaptable to children if they desired. This is why we chose a complimentary babysitting service. Instead of taking on such high risk of finding and insuring our own sitters, we wanted to contract with an outside agency. In finding an agency, it was very important for them to be fully insured, certify their employees in first aid and CPR, and also have no criminal record. A Charmed Life was able to fulfill the requirements for us. They expressed interest in establishing a professional relationship with us. We agreed upon a price of $25 an hour with a minimum of 4 hours. However, the complimentary service that we are offering is capped at 5 hours, with any additional hours being added as room charges. We also needed to establish a mileage charge due to a Charmed Life being located 92.3 miles away. We were able to agree upon a price of 23 cents per mile after 40 miles. Currently, a Charmed Life visits resorts on an average of 4 times a month. With our affiliation, we expect that to increase to 10 times per month in each of the first 6 months and up to 50 times per month in the year 2013. And here is a snapshot of our expenses due to the babysitting strategy. Overall, we hope this will contribute to 4% growth to the Beau Rivage.
Our second strategy is lowering the long-term debt of Las Vegas Sands by 50% over the next 3 years. We hope that in doing this, Las Vegas Sands will be put in a better financial position to finance future projects. Las Vegas Sands currently has $9 billion in long-term debt. We hope to lower this to about $4 billion by the end of 2013. To do this, we will pay $1.5 billion each of the next 3 years. Since one of our strengths is that we have an ample amount of cash, we will finance all of our strategies with cash. As you can see, in 2011, we'll have a decrease in cash of about $20 million, but increases in 2012 and 2013, with the ending balance of 2013 being about $5 billion in cash. For the sales forecast of Las Vegas Sands, we had to separate the company into 3 different revenue segments. The U.S. and Macau segment will grow at 21% each of the next 3 years. Beau Rivage will grow at 10% each year, and Singapore will grow at 27% in 2011, but 24% in 2012 and 2013, because such a high growth rate of opening a resort cannot last for 3 years. For the Beau Rivage promotional costs, we took the percentage of the Beau Rivage's net revenue attributed to MGM's total net revenues of 2010 and got a 5.5% rate, which we attributed to MGM's total promotional costs to get the $34 million you can see for Beau Rivage's promotional costs. Both Beau Rivage and Las Vegas Sands promotional costs will increase 5% each of the next 3 years. For the Las Vegas Sands income statements, we took the 2010 numbers of Las Vegas Sands and combined them with the 2010 numbers for Beau Rivage to get the 2010 numbers represented in this combined statement. After the implementation of all of our strategies, along with additional costs, the 2013 net revenues will be about $13 billion, while the 2013 net income will be about $2 billion. Are there any questions?
For the child care facility, did you say it was 90 miles away from the casino?
Yes.
Do you think that would have an impact on the people going to the casino to have to take their children to the, or am I misunderstanding?
It's okay. We contacted a Charmed Life, which is located in New Orleans, and they said that they would contract with a hotel like Beau Rivage, and they are going to send their nannies to the hotel to babysit the children in the room. That's why we need to charge the mileage charge, which then is doubled because we need to charge the mileage for them to go back home.
Okay. Can I ask you a financial question? You're going to finance it using the cash, and it's roughly $1.5 billion in the first year, I think. Did you take into consideration the lost investment income on the usage of that cash, how that would impact your revenues?
For the $1.5 billion, are you talking about the long-term debt?
Yeah.
Okay, no, we just talked about how just the long-term cash, we're gonna decrease that because we have $3.3 billion in cash. So we have ample amount of cash to spend on such implementation that it won't really affect revenues.
Very creative presentation. Did you think about changing the name of the Beau Rivage at all?
No, we did not. We want to keep the Beau Rivage because it is a staple in Biloxi, Mississippi, but we wanted to rebrand it due to the Rat Pack to change that feeling from MGM to the Sands. The Rat Pack hung out at the original Sands a lot of the time, as you can see in the picture. So we want to rebrand right to the Rat Pack, which we think will bring really the Sands feeling back into the Beau Rivage.
So I'm just a little hung up on this idea of babysitting.
Yes.
And so you want to create an environment where you have people coming back regularly. And I just question the people that are bringing their children to a casino, and the people that you're attracting who are gonna drop their kids off at the casino, maybe they're a pretty litigious type of group, that are looking for, you know, some way to cover their losses. Yeah.
Well, what we
And I
were
was
trying,
wondering if you thought all that through.
well, what we're trying to do with the babysitting really is that, the Beau Rivage in Mississippi has its own golf course called Fallen Oaks, which is associated just for Beau Rivage guests. So with acquiring the hotel, we also acquire the golf course, and it has ample conference rooms, so we think that a professional environment could come in there, and for business meetings, and then perhaps go golfing. But maybe go to family vacations as well, because there's beachfront accessibility on the Gulf Coast. So with the babysitting implemented, we think that the adults can still enjoy the nightlife aspect of the casinos and the restaurants and the nightclubs, but still bring their kids along for during the day with their wives and whatever.
I have a couple of questions, and part of it's related to the childcare. 92 miles to me sounds a long way, and it seems to me that some of those costs and charges, there might be some benefit to having something on the grounds or something, even investing in a business closer to get it closer in. Biloxi to me, frankly, I've never thought about vacationing in Biloxi. So my question is, part of the casino life is making sure that you have people come back and geared towards families. Given Las Vegas is pulling away from the family atmosphere that it invested in about 20 years ago, what are the thoughts about getting these families to come back? Because so far I'm left with this is maybe a one-time destination, and then the idea is a repeat to get them back in to continue to build that loyalty. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, we contacted many agencies around the area of Biloxi. After Katrina, it's not something that's very common to find down there, and almost no hotels along the Gulf Coast have a babysitting strategy implemented because it was a liability that they could just get rid of, and it was cost that they could get rid of. This was the most reliable agency that we came in contact with, and we discussed with them the 92 miles, and they agreed to do that as long as there was a mileage charge. And we believe with their reputation that they're developing down there, that this would be the best choice for us, so we have the right staff. In regards to being a one-time destination, we wanted it to focus, if you're going on a business trip and you know that you're going to be gone for a long weekend and you have a bunch of meetings scheduled, you want to be able to, you could bring your family. Some people might not want to, it is a business trip, but we wanted to offer that accessibility. And with all of our accommodations that we do have, we would be able to accommodate multiple business trips. And if we're able to establish ourselves as a good destination to hold conferences, that this would bring in not only the attraction of the beauty along the Gulf Coast, maybe the families will enjoy the environment being close to New Orleans, where they can experience that culture as well, but far enough away to be away from the party scene that New Orleans is also known for.
Also in regards to that would be the unused amenities that we currently have. Like we have beachfront property and a golf course, which we might not be particularly utilizing to its full potential.
I wanted to follow up on that particular aspect because one of your strategies was to diversify and so you've got a casino in Las Vegas. A little to sort of stay on theme, that you were doubling down a bit. You know, you're going to have another casino property, right? Just curious about whether you considered the sort of the nature and characteristics of the property and whether or not sort of going down that same path was the appropriate one, given I think what you were just alluding to.
Well, we were looking into properties, and we wanted to make sure that we have at least one property with a golf course. Wynn is our #1 competitor in Las Vegas, and their main attraction is business people utilizing the golf course. So when we looked at other companies, we saw the Beau Rivage with MGM, specifically because MGM has not been profitable in the past 3 years. So we think that they will accept our offer easily because they are in such bad financial situation right now, and they have this perfect property by the water and everything that we think can really utilize our amenities with the business attraction. And with the diversified part, we really wanted to diversify into a different location in the United States was our main